It's often assumed that rap and poetry go hand in hand with one another, with rap being the musical counterpart to poetry. It's also true that both utilize rhyme, diction, and meter as important tools of the trade. However, there are some distinct differences to note. Join me as we interview rapper, lyricist, poet, and frontman Danny Thomas about rap, poetry, the differences and similarities between the two, along with his own musical career with the bands Temple 5 and the Valedictorians. My name is Joshua Smith, and let's take a look.
Seems every day I might complain about my lack of cash. I could get up right off my ass and get a job. And even though the formula for that is very obvious, my common sense is telling me, why not grab a job that you enjoy? Cause selling clothes ain't making nothing quarterly. I'm forced to think about you.
I've been rapping for 8 years, about 8 years now, 8 or 9. I started when I was like 12. It's a funny story, but I started rapping because I was grounded. My mom, I had got in trouble with my cousin like one random summer, and my mom was like, "Y'all can't leave the house this whole summer." So he was like, "Bro, let's rap." Like from there, I probably stopped. I stopped after that because I was like, man, I wasn't, great immediately. So I stopped for like a year, and then I came back to it and started taking it more serious. When I was in high school, I was rapping under the name Louis the Engineer, and then I got to college and I dropped the engineer part off. So it's just Louis now. And then my freshman year of college, I joined this band called Temple 5. Shout out to those dudes, which I'm the front man for, and me and the keyboard player Cameron / Allen are in a group together now called the Valedictorians. The way I write raps, which is probably something to work on, but the way I write raps, like they're all connected, but it's like jumbled connectivity. It's like super poetic rather than like, here's this story, follow, I wish I could write like that, but you get there. But poetry's cool because I don't ever rhyme in poetry. I stay away from that stuff. Like, I don't think they go hand in hand, but if I like take a step back and look at it, they kind of do. Because like poetry is different because I don't usually feel like I can just do that off the fly. I have to like devote time, have to get into like a mind state. And so I keep like a notebook. I have like a little moleskin notebook that I am always like writing ideas or like interactions or like little things and thoughts and like songs and stuff that stick out to me. So then when I'm writing poetry, I can go back and be like, I noticed on this day, this tree was looking this kind of way, and on this day. So then like all this stuff comes together, you have these abstract like ideas. But music is like, rapping is kind of like, I can put a beat on and then like not even really want to be rapping at the moment, but put a beat on and start thinking of ideas, and then I can sit down and then a song gets knocked out. And yeah, I don't like having like the same thing. Poetry can be a little more intimate, and rap's kind of constrained by like rhyme and the meter of everything. Yeah. I didn't even really start writing poetry for real until I got to college. Because I had did it, but I wasn't doing it serious. But now I sit down and I'm kind of like studied, and I go to class. I learn. It's my major, so it's a different kind of thing now.
The more I open my vision, the less they like my display. I know that's brutal but truthful. Who do you use? Cause they youthful. I feel you pushing, I'm pulling. So we can fall how we used to. Just put your crown to my mattress. This love is awfully Egyptian. Our brain keeps guiding this vision. I think I found who I'm missing. I'll be behind passing guidance. So interstellar, I'm missing. The way it starts when I stumble. The way it starts when you visit. I know I'm losing my focus. We wrote it, don't know it. No, don't you know how it's hopeless? Favorite words are unspoken. This life is bleeding. This hocus pocus. Don't know what you open. Now you floating in hopelessness. And your words are unspoken. I know I'm losing my focus. We wrote it, don't know it. I know I'm. Our favorite words are unspoken. I know I'm.
I joined, that was my freshman year, like the end of my freshman year of college. So, yeah, a year, some change, a year and like 6 months, a year and a half, something like that. They used to play like a regular show at Calico Room before I joined the band. And then, so pretty much as long as I've been with the band, they've always been playing shows. The first time I met them, and then maybe it was like a week, and then I played my first show. That was like the first show I ever rapped at, and it was like a week. Hey, I met AJ, and he was like, brought me to practice on a Tuesday, and was like, you got a week, have, I think it's like 6 songs. It was some ridiculous amount of songs, and I was like, oh God. Sometimes those dudes will bring lyrics, but for the most part, I usually get stuck with writing the lyrics for the song. But we're trying to get it to be more of like a collaboration process. But as far as like all the verses and those parts, I write the lyrics. We have 2 EPs. The first one is The Strategic Arrival, and the second is The Baptist Eternal. And we're working on those are like the first 2 parts to like a 3-part installment. And so we're working on the album now, and that'll be the 3rd part. The first one was done before I joined the group. They were like featuring a bunch of rappers, so it was like a different rapper on like every song. And then I'm on the second one, and I came in at the end. We have 2 EPs. The first one is The Strategic Arrival, and the second is The Baptist Eternal. And we're working on those are like the first 2 parts to like a 3-part installment. And so we're working on the album now, and that'll be the 3rd part. The first one was done before I joined the group. They were like featuring a bunch of rappers, so it was like a different rapper on like every song. And then I'm on the second one, and I came in at the end. We played Shakori Hills, so we're trying to get into playing more festival shows, because that was fun. It's different than just playing a show. They let you live out there, and they give you food, so that's always cool. And then the Valedictorians, we're probably gonna start playing shows more, but we're putting out that project, hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah. We've been working on presentation. I point with power, our destination. Our steeds contend with no holy power, but still it's relentless. Make him mad and defensive. Let my word be a sun and moon to consume every tomb these lobbyists bodied you in. Stop it, you stopping us so.
We make hip hop also, but it's different. It's different from Tip of Pop.
Step and slide in, she want my number now. She see no wrinkles, she thinking I'm living comfortable. Check her through customs like a passport. It's only half court, cause I gotta bend it around the centerfold. She say it's sinful like a pound cake. Guess she eating cheat meals. Maybe I'm a tree still, and what you know about that? I've been in the hole where the mouse at, doused down, cooking like a pack rat. Baggage stay outside, now they asking how high. We just laying structure with the house vibes.
We actually made that from scratch, but that came from just like us hanging out, and we both like, we'll be chilling, and then he'll start playing the keys, and then we start making songs. So we had a bunch of songs and put together hors d'oeuvres, so it's kind of like 6 of our best songs over the past, it's about a year, maybe, about a year. And I also I do like half of the production. Cam plays keys, and like we put it together as far as production goes. Tempo 5's live, and like those dudes are like super thoughtful. It's like jazzy stuff. And then me and Cam for like the Valedictorians, it's more electronic is like, I guess, the better term, but we can make like house music and like stuff that you can't do with live music sometimes.
So tell the young boy how the wind sounds, get it down pat like I'm coming off a good play. Had her in the whip like a bone chip, so slick, sick parachute like I'm coming off a cold play. Let them know it's all day Lewis like Daniel. Handle the flows real nice like tight. Handle disasters the right when I'm right.
Musically, I'd like to be a professional rapper, but that was never like a career choice of mine though. I was just like, I'm good at rapping, so I'm gonna keep rapping and see where I can go. But if rapping paid my bills, that would be tight. I wouldn't do anything else. And then poetry-wise, I'd like to be a well-respected poet, who gets called out to come read at places, and maybe I'll, at the end of my time, come back, teach at UNCW like some of those teachers do. That would be tight.
When I'm right, strict addiction to jade, I go off in this light. Toss them aside when I strive. No, you can't look in my eyes. We do not touch the same plane. That's this dimension of delta. You felt the new clutch, and maybe that bag is his spade. Maybe this jag is his cage. They so confined.
Somebody else asked me that the other day, and I kept avoiding it. And they were like, "So, what do you like more about Victorians?" And I was like, "You know those like your cat looks really cool." I kept